Hey y'all, Jason Wolfe here, Wolfe's Guide Service. I make a living catching fish. Alright y'all, I do Lake Wateree River, Santee, and we also fish some small impoundments, kind of like we're doing today. We're up on the upper Catawba Fishing Creek Lake. I do stripers and catfish. Alright y'all, a little bit of my background fishing. It all started with my daddy. He just loved the largemouth bass fish. We fished lakes in South Carolina. We traveled around different lakes, Georgia, fishing, and just loved bass fishing. And then when I got a little bit older, started fishing on my own, the catfish had grown so big, and the striped bass, they just fought a little bit more, and I just took that passion to another level and really enjoyed chasing the big blue cats, flatheads, and the stripers. Just kind of transitioned over from that. How I started off guiding was I just started taking a lot of people fishing, and I really enjoyed seeing, the excitement, the smile on the people's face. The trophy lies in the eye of the beholder. Sometimes everybody's always about these monster fish. Yeah, they're great, but I take people sometimes when they catch a 10 or 15 pound fish, they're just wild. And with that being said, that's kind of how I went from, I was like, I might be able to turn this into something. So I went the proper route and went to school and got my captain's license, started part-time guiding while I worked at a paper mill full-time, and it just really took off, and ended up going full-time fishing. That's what I do now. My favorite part about guiding is just meeting different people. I mean, you meet so many people doing this, and most people are absolutely wonderful. They're happy to get away, and especially when you see a kid or elderly hook into a fish that don't do it that much, just the excitement on their face that's what makes my day. Some of my favorite memories about being a fishing guide, I could go on and on. Just for instance, yesterday I took a guy and his two young kids fishing. We took a bunch of pictures that day, shot some videos, and it's been months. It was back in the summer when it's warm, where I get a letter in the mail. Both the little boys were probably 8 and 10. They both wrote me a personal letter, handwritten, which you don't hardly get anymore, telling me thank you. And it just had picture after picture of those young boys holding those stripers that day. And I mean, that's one trip that I'll never forget. Another one that comes to mind, I took a veteran one time, and his friend, well, the vet, he was full of shrapnel, barely get around. Well, his friend, he was a blind fellow, and we had an awesome trip that day, and I just never forget how appreciative they was in that day. Some of my favorite fishing I enjoy doing is, in the springtime we have a striper spawn. The fish congregate out of Santee Cooper Lakes, come up in the Congaree and the Wateree rivers, and I really enjoy doing those trips. It's different. It's fast-flowing water, casting artificials. Fish are a little bit bigger that time of year than they are in the lake, and it's a very fun trip. And also, I like catfishing in the rivers for catfish. Catch some really nice-sized fish in the river. I have a bunch of memories with my dad growing up fishing. I mean, I could go on and on and on, and I don't know when to start, but one that hits home the other day, I took him striper fishing on Lake Wateree, and we was really into him. And Daddy's in his mid-70s now. He ain't quite the firecracker he used to be, and I could just tell he was so excited that we was catching those stripers that quick, and he was taking pictures with them in the live well himself and posting them on social media. He was just excited, and it just brought back memories of probably, I was that excited too back when I was, younger, how things changed. But that's just one of the recent memories with my father. When you book a trip with a fishing guide, things you need to know is, the main reason a lot of people, well, I wouldn't say the main reason, half the people book they just want to come fish and have fun. The other half of people, they're there to learn. They want to know the techniques and just what it takes to get started. And a lot of times, I can't tell you the amount of trips I took people. They wanted to learn how to drift fish, for one. They didn't know how to drift fish. They could anchor, but they didn't know drifting. They didn't know planer boards. So I took them out, and that day all we did is drift fish, pull planer boards. I taught them the basics, and I told them the rest of it. After you know these basics, you take it and you put your own twist on it. You go out there and fish, and you do your thing, and you catch fish. And that's part of how I help some people sometimes. The biggest thing I've learned about guiding over the years is probably just maybe your general expectations of people. Like I said before, most people are wonderful. We have a good time. They're happy to be on the water. They're happy to be away from work just to free their mind. Some people there to learn. Some people there just to catch fish. Some people's expectations are through the roof, and you couldn't match it if you wanted to for them. And on a guide, I've learned you're going to have great days where you just can't do anything wrong, that everything goes perfect. And you're going to have days where things just don't go right. And if you care about it at the end of the day, when I have a bad day, I kind of beat myself up and feel bad about it. But you got to turn around, you got to go back out there the next day and pick your head up and go do it again. Probably one of my major accomplishments I got when I first started guiding that's really helped me out product-wise is I became a brand ambassador with Catch the Fever. They make the best catfish and striper rods on the market by far. That's all we use. Drift fishing, anchor fishing for catfish, pulling boards for stripers, live bait fishing for stripers. And that was a big accomplishment for me, and it really helped me out getting on that team. They great people, great to work with, stand behind me, and I stand behind them. Y'all go check them out. Catch the Fever. What I like about being a fishing guide is I have a better way of life before. I worked, a lot of people don't know this, but I worked 20 plus years in a paper mill, swinging 12-hour shift rotation, steel toe boots, hard hat, safety glasses, gloves, and just 12-hour shift rotation, days and nights, work holidays, all that, never shut down. And being a fishing guide, I'm my own boss. I can make my own schedule. Most of the time I'm at home in the afternoons with my family, and just having that extra time means a lot too. What I enjoy about fishing the most is, every day's different. Me personally, I don't fish the same lake every single day or the same river. I kind of move around, so that keeps me really eager to go. When I roll out of bed, I look forward to fishing that day. And you never know what you're going to get into. You may go out that day and be fishing a certain place and feel like I'm going to catch the biggest catfish I ever caught for somebody that day, or vice versa, the biggest stripers. Or we might be non-stop action. We might catch 50 fish in 2 hours. You just never know what you're going to get, and that really keeps me interested. Some of the biggest fish my clients have caught over the years, we've caught, I think the biggest, we caught an 84-pound blue that was caught and released at Santee Cooper. I've caught plenty, over in the 60s, caught and released over the years, 50s, and on down, and like I said earlier, sometimes, people haven't really caught much of anything, so a fish that I see every day that may be 15 or 20 pounds, it may just blow somebody's mind, and they'll never forget that. All right, I get a lot of questions of people that's never booked a guide, so this is what you kind of expect, this is how I do it. Basically, I'm just an old country boy that loves to fish. I'm easy to get along with. We figure out a date that is available for both of us. You book it. I'm going to supply everything that you need except for your food and your drinks. All rod and reels, bait, I'm going to have everything. I'm going to give you a certain time and location to meet me, and you're going to show up and get in the boat, and we're going to go fishing. It's just that simple. Here at Wolfe Guide Service, I got 3 boats. I got boats for all different occasions. Like today, we're in my 1860 G3. It's a jet drive boat, and I do a bunch of shallow water river trips, catfish and stripers out of this boat. I have a 24-foot G3 Sportsman, and I do a lot of trips out of. We take it in the lake, fish 3 or 4 people out of that boat. And I also have a 32-foot pontoon, and we can take up to 6 in that boat and have plenty of room. If y'all need more information on a guide trip with me, go check out wolfsguideservicellc.com, or you can check me out on Facebook, Wolfe Guide Service LLC, 803-487-3690.